Today, Steve and I are going to be going over the steps of what you need to do when you're building a home from scratch. You guys get to watch us tour all these beautiful model homes from Perry and Highland and Drees and all these great semi-custom builders, but we really haven't gone over how do you actually build. So today we're going to walk you through all of those phases, so why don't we jump right in. If this is your first time to our channel and you would like to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio and its surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe or tap that bell for notifications to ensure that you're one of the first to be notified when we bring you new market updates. My name is Katie Powers.
And my name is Steven Garza.
And we get phone calls, emails, and texts from people just like you every single day who are looking to make a move into the area. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months from making that transition, we would love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below, and Steve and I would be honored to be your realtors of choice. Now let's dive into the process of building a home from scratch.
Yeah, so if you're considering building, there is similar steps to go through for everyone, right? If you're considering building from scratch, right, you gotta go start with the builder, but we've broken it down into steps for you. It's not perfect. It's not always the exact same way every single time, but there are typical steps that do take place. And you got to remember, this takes place over 6 months, 5 to 6 months, and sometimes longer if you go bigger.
Yeah, so grab your popcorn because there's a lot of phases. Well, there's 3 phases, but there's a lot of things that go on during those phases. So we also want to inform you, this is for semi-custom, like Perry, Highland, Drees, where they have the floor plans and you're picking their floor plans in the communities. If you're looking to build from scratch custom, like a full custom home where you get to find your lot wherever you want and build with a custom builder, this is not the same steps. That is a much longer and detailed process. This is for semi-custom, and it's considered semi-custom because they do give you the floor plans to choose from in communities such as all of the ones you guys watch us show you. So we're gonna jump right in. First step in phase 1 is to pick your area of town, right? San Antonio and the surrounding areas is massive, especially when you look on a map. And the scale of it. Texas is big, and our cities and suburbs are no exception. So you really want to narrow down area. Are you thinking Northwest? Are you thinking Bernie? Are you thinking New Braunfels? Are you thinking Bulverde? Are you thinking North San Antonio? Right? You've got lots of things going on. So we want to make sure that you are at least trying to narrow down that area so we're not looking in a massive area of town.
Step 2 would be calling us, right? Say you're going to be working off of I-35, Fort Sam, right? If you're going to be moving to San Antonio to work at Fort Sam, you're probably going to want to stay in the Northeast area, the New Braunfels area. So you've kind of identified where you need to be or want to be. Then you call us. We're going to know what builders are in the area. We're going to know price range, right? Price range is a big deal when building. It kind of decides on your builders, the builders that you fit into that mold. So calling us would really help to just simplify what area and where we can really start targeting for you. And then of course, watching our videos too, right?
Yeah.
We're all over San Antonio.
Well, and the next step is really fine tuning that builder. So once you give us a call, we'll be able to take that area that you're looking in and go over what communities are available to you, what lifestyles are going to match what you and your family are looking to do. We can help narrow down the communities and builders. So we really like to focus on builders, and then we can find you the communities those builders are in. If you do watch our videos, you'll want to look at the floor plan, see what you like. I would definitely advise doing some of your own research. We'll give you all of our knowledge and advice from our experience, but it still is good. It's your home. you're going to be living in it and you're paying for it. Steve and I aren't paying for it and we're not living in it, right? So you want to kind of do some of that background research on the builders. Check out Highland reviews. Go on Reddit. See what people on Reddit are saying about Perry Homes and their experiences with Dree Homes. I mean, Dree's is a big builder nationwide. Toll Brothers. You're going to have a lot more reviews on Toll Brothers and Dree's than you will in our area of like.
Well, and we'll give you our honest assessment of the builders themselves too, because we're in it with you, right? We're helping people build every day. And so we've walked through the process many times and we love to be honest.
Yeah, so I would just say, just do a little research on that so that you have at least narrowed down like your top 3, Highland, Perry, Drees. Okay, so then we can go and see what neighborhoods. A lot of them are in the same communities, so that makes it easy. But you really want to have your like top builders in mind. So basically what I was saying, like Scott Felder is going to be more localized. So you're not going to see as many reviews for Scott Felder as you would for Toll Brothers. But you still want to have a little knowledge on that going in, what to expect and what other people have experienced during builds. Keep in mind, building is a stressful process. So you're going to see a lot of negative comments too. But look at the overall arching theme of that builder and if it's something that matches or aligns with your wants. Then we're gonna find you the neighborhood and we're gonna narrow that down even more. Builder and neighborhood. Now we know where you're building.
Yeah, so let's say we've found the neighborhood, we've found the builder, we've chosen the floor plan too, right?
Right.
What comes next?
We get to go lot shopping.
Yep.
So we're gonna look at the lots that are available in that neighborhood and we're gonna drive by them. If you're not here locally, Steve and I will drive by them. We will also do what's called lot fits. So you pick your floor plan, we'll pick like maybe 5 lots that face the right direction. That seems to be a big deal when you get to build. People get to choose, where is the sun gonna set and rise? Where are they gonna drink their coffee in the morning? You really wanna think about these things. Like, how are you going to live in this house? What are things that are important to you? You start thinking about those things while we're picking the lot, right? So before we even get to design. So pick the lot. We're gonna do some lot fits for you so you can see how the house fits on that lot. And if you have enough backyard, do you have enough backyard? Do you have enough front yard? All of those measurements go in to picking that lot. So if you're here, we'll jump in a car, we'll go drive those lots, we'll walk the lots. If there's trees on them, you'll get to choose which trees you want to stay, which ones the builder's gonna say, well, that has to go based off the lot fit and where the home fits on the lot. But you'll get all of those choices during that lot. So once we pick the lot and the floor plan, the next step is
structurals. Pick your structurals. Do you want to have a second floor, right? Anything that's going to change roof line is considered structural.
Or square footage.
Or square footage. So you got to remember, the house is built through an architect, and so if you're adding a room on the second story, it changes everything, right? So we got to know that before you even sign the contract. You definitely select your structurals.
Structurals add into your price. So that is why we have to do that before you go into the contract, because these are super important changes. So again, this is semi-custom. It is not full custom. So you might not necessarily get to add a second floor, like Steve said, depends on the floor plan. But a lot of these builders, such as Perry, Highland, Drees, they're gonna have options for you. For example, do you want a fireplace? You want a fireplace? We click that structural, and sometimes on their website, you can see what it looks like when you add the fireplace. Is it in the corner? Is it in the middle? They're gonna have previously approved places you can put it. You don't get to just choose. They have it already pre-designed for you. Another big one is on your primary bedroom. Do you want a bay window? You want to push out? It gives you a little more square footage in the primary bedroom, and some of them it rounds out the room, and some of them it's just an extra 2 to 5 feet bump out. Not 5 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet bump out on that primary. Another big one is if you are looking at a 2-story home, they'll have 4-bedroom plans that can have a 5th bedroom added. So you can add a 5th bedroom, add a media room. And the other thing is bathrooms. So a lot of the floor plans will have like a 4-2, but you can add a 2nd bathroom upstairs. So those are structurals. Those are big. And to keep in mind, those are big cost items too, which is why, again, builders say they start at 400, but by the time you're finished, you're at 500, right? Because those structurals, depending on how many structurals you add to your base contract price. Once we figure out builder, community, lot, and structurals, that's a lot, right? That's a lot in one step. Then we can contract. So once we contract with the builder, they then get you with their lender. It's very backwards when you're going semi-custom build from scratch. Typically you talk with the lender first no matter what. In this scenario, we do all 4 of those things, contract, then you talk to the builder's lender.
Yep, I totally agree on that. Also, one other point to keep in mind is the lot is going to have a premium. So if you're getting the big corner lot that's, half acre or 3/4 of an acre or even a quarter of an acre, it's going to have some kind of lot premium. So just keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Something else to think
and
about.
And if it has a green belt or if it has really pretty trees on it, it typically carries a higher premium.
Yeah, so it's just keep in mind, structurals, lot. So
yeah,
those
typically, it's going to depend on the neighborhood. Typically your lot premiums are $5,000 to $15,000. When you start getting into your higher priced homes, like $1 million build home, those lot premiums are closer to $75,000. So it's just going to depend on the neighborhood and what those lot premiums look like.
Okay, so let's say we've gotten all of that out of the way. We know the house, we know the floor plan, we know the structurals. What's next?
The contract. Get with the lender. I want to touch on the lender topic because you might already have a lender, or you might have already talked to our preferred lender, because we do have a preferred lender that we would refer out to you. But typically when you're going build from scratch, you want to at the very least, talk to the builder's lender, because there's usually incentives tied into using that lender. Closing cost assistance. Right now they're doing huge rate buy downs. You won't get the $30,000 rate buy down if you don't use their lender. So while you might have a lender that you've used for all of your homes and you really have a good relationship with them, we don't like to break that relationship. I would just advise you also talk to this lender to at least have that conversation. And if your lender is able to give you a free rate buy down, great, use them. Use the lender. It's all real estate's relationship based, right? Like, this is a long process. You want to like who you're working with. But typically, lenders that are outside of the relationship with the builder aren't able to give those incentives. So in most cases, we see our clients using the preferred lender to get that extra, essentially free money.
Yeah, it's just such a large sum of money that the third-party lender that you might have been pre-approved through before you started shopping, they just can't match it. And in reality, if it's $30,000 that they're throwing at you, nobody's going to walk away from that. It's just legit free money for, the house you're going to be living in. So everyone takes advantage of it. Unfortunately, we would take advantage of it, and we have our preferred lender that we love.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is what it is in the new construction world.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on that because it's a little backwards when we build from scratch. So once you get pre-approved from that lender and you've already signed the contract, actually, let me stop on this contract. You cannot change this contract, guys. These are builder contracts. We as real estate agents have no say. You can hire a lawyer to review it. That is your prerogative. You absolutely can do that at your cost. The builder is not going to pay for you to have a lawyer review it. They have already had their lawyers review it, right? These contracts are lengthy and they are written to favor the builder. So I just need you to know that going in from the very beginning. We don't get to change these contracts.
There's no changing it.
And every builder has their own contract. So it's not like a standard universal building contract, and it is typically 30 pages plus with all of their addendums, right? So I just want to throw that caveat out there because it's a long contract. We'll review it before we send it to you, before we have the builder send it to you for signature. We'll always review it, and us plus the builder rep are happy to go over that contract paragraph by paragraph with you. We want you to know what you're signing. But I do just want to say, like, you either sign it or don't. Like, that's kind of how the builders work.
Yeah, the simplified version of it is it keeps everybody in check, keeps the builder in check, making sure that the process is moving along through these phases that we're mentioning. And then it also keeps you in check. You know, you got to do your part as a buyer, secure the loan, right? That's a big one. And then make your selections, because the builder can't move forward without you making selections. So, you know, they want you to be accountable, and then they hold themselves accountable on the contracts too. So it's a give and take, but obviously it's going to be leaning towards the builder because it's their product.
Like acts of God, you know, if delays, right? They're not going to give you a close date. That's a big one that we get a lot.
Nothing's perfect in building.
Yeah, they're going to give you a range. It's typically going to take 6 to 9 months. And they're going to put a month on the contract, typically, like a goal. But the way that contract is typically written for all the builders is they're going to try to meet that, but there's no consequences if they don't meet that date, because it's just an estimate. It's an estimated date of closing.
Yeah, they're at the mercy of weather and materials, right? Windows can take sometimes 3 months to get in.
And the city, and the county, all of the
inspections.
approvals.
Yep.
So I'm just saying that honestly, you want to give yourself 2-month breather from that estimated date. Maybe a month before. Rarely closes before. We have had that.
Lately,
Toll Brothers has closed earlier.
There just haven't been any material delays, and weather's been pretty darn good. So it's just, so they're moving faster than expected, which can happen. So if they say September, could it be end of August? Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just want to throw that out there. Contract. Once you sign the contract, then my favorite part starts.
Yes.
So we're still in phase 1, guys. Phase 1 is a lot. The first month from finding the neighborhood, contracting, to our next step, which is design, the first month of your build is hot and heavy. We need you engaged. We need you either in town or available via Zoom frequently to make these big decisions. And in most cases, we have our out-of-staters specifically fly in for design. Design means you get to go to a beautiful building where they have all of the materials. So you get to choose your quartz and your granite and your paint colors and your flooring, and they have samples of all of these things. So it's really fun, especially the lighting. Like, you walk in and there's just like all these light fixtures. It's really pretty. So you have a lot of options. And while Steve and I do this a lot and we enjoy doing it, it's not our house, right? So we need you guys to either physically be here or be available on the phone. Design Center is typically, we like to break it up in 2 days.
Generally, most builders do have 2 days.
They will usually give you an allotted hours. So they'll give you 4 to 6 hours for the Design Center. You could do 4 days and do an hour each day. They don't like doing that, but they typically advise 2 days.
2 days.
So you do 2 to 3 hours the first day, and then I always suggest go the next day while it's still very fresh in your brain. Another 2 to 3 hours the next day, and you should have every pretty decision for your home wrapped up after those 2 days. Most of our clients will come into town for it. If not, we have done a few Zoom design centers. It's just a little hard when it comes to colors, because while our phones are beautiful these days and the cameras are great, it is hard sometimes to see just how gray that is or how green that is, or if you're looking for colors, it does make it a little hard. So I would always suggest, if you can, be here for design. That's probably the most important date to be here for, in my opinion.
Yeah, and a pro tip coming from us is have your color scheme in mind. If you know you like white cabinets, because everything kind of centers around the kitchen, right? That's where,
More or less, yeah.
that's where most people want to deck out. So have your cabinet colors in mind, have your, countertop colors. Do you want all white kitchen? Do you want to mix it up? That always helps in design. It's just a tip. You can go in, a lot of our clients go in with no
idea, no clue.
But
I will say another pro tip, Pinterest is your friend. It also can be your enemy because it can make your budget go out the window. But what I would suggest is go through Pinterest and just kind of save some ideas, like save primary bathroom's a big one, right? Go through and look at photos of like what kind of tile, because in my opinion, anything that's expensive to change afterwards is worth doing the right way with the builder. Pay the upgrades to get it done right, and you love it, because changing out tile in your bathroom after closing is way overrated.
It's costly.
It's costly. It's a pain. You've got the professionals there. Spend a little extra upgrade to get the tile that you love, or get the accent tile that you love, or get the bench or the niches in your shower. Like, spend that extra. The other pro tip is, before you come to design, live and breathe your floor plan. Picture yourself in that floor plan with your family and physically walk. If you can, I can help you with this. Steve and I are really good. Some people aren't very good at visualizing. We've been doing this long enough that we can. But like, if you're gonna have an office, walk in your office, picture where your desk would be. Picture where you would want that plug. Do you need an extra plug? How are you gonna utilize every room in that floor plan so that you can really have a good idea of how you wanna design it? Because there's not really an option to change later. I mean, you can do a change order, but typically builders attach a fee every time you change something after design.
Yep.
So you really want to live and breathe that floor plan. How are you going to use it before you show up? Because 6 hours overall is not a lot to design. I mean, Jennifer and Jermaine, right? 5,500 square feet, over 5,000 square feet. We went over time and they were good, fast.
They were fast.
They knew what they wanted, and it's a lot of rooms and a lot of decision making. So you just want to really understand how you're going to utilize these rooms.
All right. So coupled with design, I'm glad you mentioned office, because this is a big one in the office. Your low voltage, right? Extra plugs, 110 plugs. Irene did a bunch of extra plugs in her primary bath for all the little plugins.
Well, and it's also like, I didn't really think about this until the last few years. I never thought of a plug in your toilet room. People are using bidets now, right? So you do need to think, like, are you somebody who uses bidets? You need an extra plug in that bathroom so that you can have a bidet that works, right? You don't want an extension cord to your bidet. That's just weird, right? So yeah.
Typically, this is just typical. 2 days for design, and then you also squeeze in a third meeting for low voltage.
The low voltage is typically a Zoom meeting. You do not do that one in person. So design in person, please be here. Low voltage, you can be wherever you are. Steve and I can jump on as well. We love going to design in person, by the way, to just help think of things, right? There are some things that you want the builder to do, and there are some things that Steve and I will say, that's really pricey. We have connections that might be something you want to do after closing. Like these deco walls. You don't want to pay the builder to do that. It cost Steve and I $150 to do this, okay? So the builder would charge you like $2,000 or something crazy. So we'll give you tips on that. But low voltage, Zoom meeting, it can happen a week later too, but they like to get them as close as possible to get all of your design, everything that's needed for the home done.
Yeah, you got to remember, they got to place the orders for all these materials. So that's how it keeps the timing fluid, is is they have all your orders, they have all your picks, and then they start placing the orders because the materials just need to be ordered.
So when it comes to money, when we're talking design and low voltage, you have your contract price where we have contracted with all your structural changes. Then you go to design. It's, first of all, a lot of the design should be covered by incentives. A lot of the builders are giving incentives, like for example, Perry was offering $60,000. So you could split that $60,000 how you want it. $30,000 towards buying your rate down, $30,000 towards design, or $20,000 towards design, $10,000 off sales price, right? It's flex money, so you could use it. So by that time, we'll know before. You also want to go into design with a budget. You always want to go in with a budget. If you choose to go over the budget, it's a conscious choice. Is a much smarter way than to just go and like say you want everything.
It's nice.
It's nice, but the builder will step in at some point and say no because they don't want to over improve the home to where it doesn't appraise. But go in with a budget. We'll know what your incentive is, but just keep in mind there is a certain dollar figure to where you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. Once you hit over that dollar figure, you typically have to write a check for 50%. So just to do round numbers, let's say your design center was $100,000, right? And that might be it if you're building $1 million home. So your design budget was $100,000. You maxed out your $100,000. The builder gave you $50,000 incentive. So you have to pay 50% of that remainder. So 50% of the 50 grand would be a $25,000 check. So you would have to pay the builder then.
Yeah, and it's gonna vary from builder to builder, but all of them are gonna have some kind of cap on design and then a percentage of what is owed for what you've spent over that cap, whether that's 25%, 50%. But yeah, that's great points. I mean, keep in mind for sure.
It's still your money, right? It's that money that you're prepaying is going towards your closing cost and your final build. But the builder has to take that because if you choose neon green tile and they're ordering it and you decide to walk away 2 months before we close, they need that money to undo the neon green to put in a neutral color to sell it as an inventory, right? So they have to take some assurances because you are designing it for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean the builder could resell it if you walked out or if something changed and you got stationed, your PCS got moved to a different state or something. They've got to have some assurances. So that's part of it.
The builder's always on defensive, and that's strictly because they're dealing with humans and life events do happen. And so, if you spend 100 grand and they order 100 grand of materials and then a month before closing, it's all in the house and you choose to walk away for whatever reason, it could be a death in the family. It could be anything, divorce.
Not refundable. So we need to make that very clear. Once we get to design and you finalize your design, you're locked in. Could I possibly get your earnest money refunded before design? Most likely. Builders aren't looking, they're not in the business to make earnest money, right? They typically will refund that. But once you finish your design and low voltage, your money is theirs until closing. If you close, it goes towards you. If you decide to terminate the contract, they do keep that. So we just want to keep that in mind moving forward.
All right.
So that is the end of phase one.
Phase one done.
And all of phase one happens in 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is a very fast and furious 30 days. It's one of those, if you're military, you understand this phrase very well. It's very much a hurry up and wait scenario. Okay. So now we're going to jump into phase 2 of building from scratch.
Yeah. So phase 2 is my favorite step. She likes to design, and I love the prettiness and all the selections. But phase 2 is where the house starts getting a heartbeat, right? First comes slab pour. So what do we do before slab pour, though? There's one step that we always recommend.
No, there's pre-construction.
Oh, well, yeah, the pre-construction, but pre-construction is just kind of finalizing what you've already selected, which you already have fresh in your brain anyways. But yeah, pre-construction is just to make sure it's the super, meeting the super, and you going over what you've selected just to be certain. It's just that extra level of security in there to make sure that you're happy as the consumer.
Well, and it's also a great time to meet your construction manager. So that is the person who is running the entire project, also known as a project manager outside of the real estate world, right? So he is managing all of the trades, your electrician, your framers, your concrete slab. He's managing all of those multiple trades that are working on your home. So you want a good relationship with your construction manager, and they do take the time to put the plans out in front of you with all of your selections and make sure it is exactly how you wanted it to be. I'm very thankful that we have pre-construction meetings because it really helps the construction manager understand your vision as well.
Yeah, and he kind of keeps you on the timelines too, right? He'll tell you what's coming next down the pipeline because he's in direct control of it all. He knows what materials might be delayed. And so a good construction manager keeps you informed, keeps you up to date. He makes everybody's life easier, that's for sure.
Yes. So once we do pre-construction meeting, then we highly suggest there's a 3-phase inspection. So depending on where you're building, if you're out of the city and in county territory, please get an inspection. There are 3 phases. I highly, highly recommend. They typically are around $1,000 because it's 3 inspections in one. So you're getting pre-slab pour, so he inspects it before the slab. Then he inspects it before sheetrock goes up, right? So he can see the electrical, the plumbing, and make sure everything is good before they put sheetrock on. And then you have your final inspection when all the pretty is in and we're almost ready to close. You have that 3rd inspection to go out. All of the builders are going to tell you they do their own inspections. County does inspections. If you're in the city does inspections. I still always suggest a 3rd party. I don't think it's ever a waste of money. If the inspector finds nothing,
great.
Praise God, that's awesome. But they always find something because at the end of the day, it's man-made. People are people. We make mistakes. So you just want that extra set of eyes.
It doesn't hurt. And to protect your asset for the future, it doesn't hurt to spend $1,000 and to protect to help protect your $750 or $1 million investment, right?
Yeah. Now, if you're in the city, we have had clients that have opted out of doing an inspection. It's totally your prerogative, no matter what. It is your choice. We always suggest it. But if you were building inside San Antonio city limits, there are more inspections. So you do have county and city inspections overall. So you don't have to, we just think you should. But we did just have a great experience with a client who built a Highland, and honestly, they did a really good job. So I just want to point that out. That's an additional cost that you should budget for. Budget for it. Yeah. We handle all of this for you, right? Yes. You got to pay for it, but we set it up. We review the report. We don't step out. We stay involved with you and the super. So just know that we're always there right next to you. You're not alone in this. If this is your first time building, it's very overwhelming. So you have us to lean on. And if it's your first time building and you're not local, you need an agent who is going to show you everything. We even go out, use our pretty little drone, and get you video of the process so you can see what's going on as it's going on, so you can still feel a part of it if you're not local. But you want to get with that inspector because those phases are going to be throughout the next 6 months. So you want to get them hired and ready. And then as soon as we have the dates from the builder, like slab is your next one, right? Your first one. So once the forms are up and the tension rods are in and the bags are in, the builder's going to say, hey, Katie or Steve, the concrete slab's going to be poured on Tuesday. which tells us we need to get our inspector out today or tomorrow. So anytime before that day, we typically like to do 24 to 48 hours before the pour. So if there is anything that came up, the builder has time to correct it before the slab is poured.
Yep. So a report is generated and then it's sent over to the super, sent over to us, and we use that to make sure that everything is ready for concrete. Because once concrete's poured, that's it.
It's poured.
Yeah.
There's no undoing it.
No.
Yes.
So, all right. So we've gotten to slab pour. Exciting, right? The house is coming together. I love this part. Next is sticks, right? The wood starts going up. It's all attached. Framing.
He calls it sticks. It's framing.
Sorry. Yes. So the framing goes up, and then your roughing, your electrical, your plumbing, your HVAC, all of that is installed, and we video all that for you so you can see it all. Save that video for sure, because once sheetrock goes up, you no longer see what's behind your walls, and so we recommend to always save that video, download it, and that way if you're ever going to hang something a year or two from now, you know exactly what's behind that wall, which I wish we had that here at our house.
Yeah, it's just helpful, especially if you have a home with gas. You want to make sure there's no gas line behind that wall before you hang your TV or things like that. So it is helpful, and we give you those video tours quite frequently, honestly. We typically will go out at least every 2 weeks. If it's moving a little faster, then we have been going out pretty regular, almost weekly in that beginning stage, because you do want to see.
Moves fast.
It does. It moves fast, and not fast like they're sloppy. It just, you have a lot of trades working at the same time, so it just moves faster. So that
wraps it up for phase
wraps
two.
Up phase two.
Phase two is roughing.
Keep in mind, phase two is typically about 3 months.
Yeah, roughly, give or take.
2 to 3 months, depending on the size of your home, right? Like if you're building over 5,000 square feet, it might be 4 months because it's just a larger square footage to do. But typically 2 to 3 months is your phase two, which is slab pour to framing. And then phase three is going to start with sheetrock. So right before the sheetrock goes on, you have another construction meeting. Your second construction meeting with the super. You do not need to be here. It is great if you are here so you can see where everything is in your home before those walls go up. But a lot of people have a hard time visualizing the home before sheetrock's up because you can see through walls, which is kind of weird. So, but you have that construction meeting just to make sure the plugs are where the plugs need to be.
Yeah, so this is where you go sit down with the super again, or the construction manager, and you go over all your selections, your low voltage, right? If you have camera wiring up in the corner of the soffit, we got to make sure it's all there. You can do it after the fact, but it's far more difficult. We want to make sure it's all there. All your selections are in place. We sit down and we check off each one. Say, okay, that's there. We can see that. That's there. We can see that. And so it's just that extra level of happiness for you because all your selections are there.
Yep. And then we make the inspector come out as well. Typically they'll come out right before your construction meeting, so everything can be fixed before your construction meeting. But that would be your phase two of the inspection process. And then once all of that, everybody's signed off on it and happy, sheetrock goes up. And literally from the time sheetrock is up to closing is usually about 2 months. And you really get to see your house come together.
Yes.
I mean, once the flooring's in and the cabinets are in, so typically what construction managers are saying is once cabinets are in, you're 30 days to close.
Yep, big deal.
So the cabinet date is a very important date. The flooring is in before that, paint is in before that, but once the cabinets go in, you're 30 days to close. So typically from sheetrock to closing, 60 days.
Yep.
It moves fast and furious, and it's so much fun to watch.
That's
so on this phase, Steve, if you guys aren't local, we go out every week because there is so much happening in a week that we like to show you the progress.
That schedule is not perfect though, right?
Because we are working.
you're working, and we're waiting on trades too, right?
Yes.
Some trades may have delayed to get in. So, you know, give it a week, 2 weeks, generally no more than 2. But
we're pretty consistent on making sure that you are seeing the changes as it's getting added. I love going in once the tile is in. I love tile. I love tile. I love tile in the bathroom, and the backsplash, and the laundry room. It's fun for me. On your fireplace. So once the tile is in, I really think it helps people visualize like, oh, this is pretty. Oh, I love this tile. And I hope that you love this tile, because if they put it up and you don't like this tile, it's an expensive thing to change, and the builder does not eat that cost. That is a buyer cost. So they will take it down, and
most will.
And they'll put new tile up, but it's not going to be cheap. So we won't even go in that. We're not even going to put that into the atmosphere. You're going to love your tile selections. It's going to be beautiful. So really 60 days. It is a very fast time frame. So once we get through cabinets, once cabinets are installed, that's when you're going to call that lender, whoever you choose, whether it's your personal lender or you went with the builder lender. You're going to get in touch with that lender, because you are 30 days out once cabinets are in, and you're going to lock your rate.
Yes.
You cannot lock your rate on a build when you contract. It's got to be 30 to 60 days out. So you're going to lock your rate once cabinets are in, and then you're going to have to start working with that lender to get all your docs resent in. You did it when you got pre-approved. You're gonna have to do it all again, because now it's been 6 to 7 months since then. So they're gonna ask for all of those new bank statements and everything. So just keep that in mind. And then
happy day.
Yes, your final walkthrough.
Yes. Yeah, your final walkthrough is your house is alive. It's there for you, waiting for you to move in. The final inspect, we just go through, we make sure that you're happy, right? Make sure there's no scratches in walls. There are a lot of moving parts in building. There's a lot of trades coming and going, making things dirty, scratching walls. So that final walk is to ensure that you are 100% happy as a customer.
And the builder calls it orientation. So your final walk is orientation. You might hear Steve and I call it blue tape. So the blue tape is to call out all of the imperfections. This is so much fun for me, you guys. You have no idea. Because when you go and buy a pre-owned home, you don't get to go nitpick everything. It's so much fun.
To a degree. We've had people go overboard. But
I don't think you can go overboard. I blue tape everything. In fact, I usually bring my own roll of blue tape, because the builders will be like, we don't really want to give it, because she's going to tape everything. I tape everything. Now, will they fix everything? Not necessarily, but they will for the majority. All of the little nicks in the walls or
paint touch-ups, definitely. But like if you have a tile that's slightly raised, they're not going to remove that tile and lay it back down. It's the imperfections of material.
Like we found one a couple weeks ago from a cracked tile in the bathtub.
They'll replace.
On the tub, right? Not the actual tub, but the tile going up. So it was cracked. So yeah, we blue taped it and they came and fixed it. So basically your final walk, orientation, blue tape, whatever you want to call it, is a week before closing.
Yep.
Sometimes 2 weeks, but they really like to do it a week before closing. We blue tape it, and then they have a week to correct all of those items.
Before the final walk.
And then you can choose that. Some people choose to do the final walk before signing, just to make sure that all the blue tape items were corrected. Some don't. It's totally up to you. It depends really how good your super is.
Yeah.
If your super's on it and they've been on it from day one, a lot of people build that trust and they're like, hey, we blue taped it. We know they got it.
Yeah, and you got to remember, these supers, they really want to keep you happy, because their job is review based and you are the reviewer. They make you do a review. All these builders do. They want to make sure that their supers are taking great care of you, and they ask you at the end of this process.
Yeah.
And that way the super is held accountable.
Some supers don't know how to say no. I've met quite a few. Some of them are better at that than not.
Yes.
But they become your friends, honestly. This is such a long process. You talk to them and meet them so many times that you either trust them or you don't, and hopefully you trust them because this is a very large purchase for you. So once you do final walk, blue tape everything, then we have closing, which depends on where you're at. If you're local, then we'll close at a title company here. If you are not local, then you will have a notary go to you. And honestly, we can close anywhere in the world, guys. You just gotta have somewhere with internet. So a notary will come to you, and then once everything funds, meaning you've signed, it's gone back to the lender approves it, which typically takes like an hour after you sign. It's really not a long process.
They're on it.
Then they fund it. They send their money and their disbursement authorization to the builder, and then the builder releases the keys. And at that point, it's your home.
Yep.
You can start moving furniture in.
Process complete.
Yes. And then the other thing to just keep in mind, that is all 3 phases, but depending on which builder you choose, you do have warranties. So the final and last thing I will say on this is typically builders give a 1-year warranty to cover everything in the home, right? We call it doorknob to doorknob instead of front to back, right? So what I would suggest is that same inspector that did your 3-phase inspections, you want to call them about 10 months into your home. So you have lived there 10 months, have the inspector come back out. It's going to cost you around $350, $400, depending on size of the home. Have them come out, and then you get that report and you submit it through the warranty company, and they will fix 95% on that list before your 12 months is up. If you build with Perry, you get 2 years. So you can wait till, I don't know, month 22, right? But Perry gives you 2 years. Most every other builder is 1 year. So I would highly, highly suggest, because they essentially will come in and like re-blue tape your whole house. I mean, they get all this stuff. So in houses, settle, right? The weight of the house,
moves,
timing, weather, materials. Yeah. So things are going to shift a little. I'm not talking about foundation problems. I'm just talking about little movements here and there, some caulking. Typically the warranty doesn't cover caulking, but it will cover anything else. Like if you notice a little crack come up, they'll come and fix it. If there's a tape and float error, they'll come and fix it. If, I don't know, just things happen, right? Yeah, but you have that opportunity.
You just gotta remember the materials we use in our home, nothing's perfect, right? Wood dries out, shrinks a little, and it's not anything we can see through the eye, but could it cause a sheetrock tear? Absolutely. And it's very common. And so the builders want to make sure that you're happy. And so they give you those warranties to ensure that if something like that does happen, they'll take care of it for you.
That's really the last, I mean, you've already lived in the home for 10 months at that point. I just strongly encourage it and like to bring it up because a lot of times once you're living in it and life is lifing, you don't think about those things, right? But it's worth, in my opinion, the $350 to have all of those little things have taken care of, because then it feels brand new again. So
2-year warranties, your mechanicals, which 2 or 3 years. Yeah, 2 or 3 year, depending on builder, but most of the mechanicals have a 5-year warranty just through the manufacturer. So you always want to register your AC, water heater, that kind of stuff. That way, if something does happen, which it does, right? It happened to us. We put in a new water heater, and literally within a year or two, it started leaking. It was like, wait, what? Yeah. It's just a defect. And
it's a defective water heater.
They replaced it for free. And so within that 2 years, they cover the labor. After the 2 years, the labor's not covered. But the mechanical, the expensive part is covered.
The manufacturer covers the parts, but they don't cover the labor. Yeah. So you might have a little cost there if something happens on year 5 or whatever. And then you have your 10-year warranty, which is your structural warranty, typically your foundation. But it is structural, so it also does cover, like I just saw a report that showed a structural framing beam that had dropped, right? That's structural, so that's covered by a structural warranty. So yeah.
10 years.
10-year warranty. So that is what we have for you guys. I know this was a super long video and a lot of us just talking, which that's kind of what our videos are, right? But I hope it was helpful. This is the process. Keep in mind, this was a lot of information, but it is spread over 6 to 7 months. So it's not something you're having to do all at once. If you felt overwhelmed by all the steps in this video, building might not be for you. Because it is a lot of decision making. If you're not good at decision making or decisions overwhelm you, pre-owned might be the way to go.
Inventory too.
Or inventory home, right? I'm just putting it out there because hopefully my mom doesn't watch this video. My mom is the worst decision maker. She will sit there and go back and forth for weeks. She will call me, Katie, what do you think about this? And it's like which shoe she's gonna put on for the day, right? Like her decision, it's so overwhelming for her. She should never build a home. She should never build a home because it would stress her out, guys. It would not be fun for her. And I'm just being honest with you. If it stresses you out to a point where you're losing sleep or it's too much for you, like it's just not worth it. Go buy an inventory home, get the great incentives, and slowly add your touches to the home when you want. When it's not so like, here's 3,000 questions and you have to make all these decisions at once. It can be very overwhelming. So we just want to prep you for that so you know what you're getting into, because it's a lot.
That's a good point. It's fair. But most people love it. Most people end up enjoying their selections.
Yeah, I mean, we had a client who closed and she was super, super stressed the whole time, but now she's in it. She's texted me at least 3 times over the last 4 months telling me, oh my gosh, you were so right. I'm so glad I did that extra chandelier. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I'm so glad we did this, right? So if you go through the process and honestly listen to our experience on living and breathing this floor plan and how you're going to use every room, you will appreciate it so much once you move in, and everything that you need in that room is right where you need it to be. So that is all we have for you guys.
That's it
today. Hopefully it was helpful. Let us know. Drop us a comment. Let us know if it was helpful for you. Let us know if it was boring for you. We do want your feedback on it. And I mean, be nice. Don't be mean. Don't call me fat. I don't want to know if I'm fat or not. I already know it, right? But nice feedback helps us make sure that we're giving you guys information that you want to know, right? So.
And if you're ready to build,
yeah.
If you're looking to relocate to San Antonio and you're ready, give us a shout, shoot us an email, whatever, however you prefer to communicate, text.
Yeah.
We do it all.
If you know you're going to build, we should be talking 9 months before you plan to move into your home. Not 6 months before you move into your home, 9 months before you move into your home. You know you want to be in it by that date. We really need to be having that conversation 9 months in advance if you're going to.
Right.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one.